Hello everybody, I'm Jacob Pyle. On our next installment of Podcast in a Car, we take you to, I take you through a tour around Hamilton County. We pass a couple of very small towns, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So join me, Jacob Pyle, for our next installment of
Turn left onto River Road.
Podcasts in the Car, and I hope to see you guys then.
And now, once again, Jacob Pyle.
Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Podcast in a Car podcast. My name is Jacob Pyle, and I am your host and producer of said show. Today, what we're going to do is I'm leaving. It's about 5:36 in the afternoon right now, and I am actually heading to my church. This church I attend is in Carmel. Well, technically it's almost Noblesville, but it's in Carmel, and I actually have to go there for a meeting today. So, and I thought we would use this I'm going to be passing by some small towns in Hamilton County, and I thought it would be cool and fun to actually take you with me.
Harvest Church may be closed by the time you arrive.
And just to kind of get to know some of the smaller towns within the community.
This route avoids road closures on Westfield Road. You are on the best route.
So,
you should reach your destination by 6:12 p.m.
So if you're ready, I guess we will get started.
Take
So
the next
today,
right onto North Independence Street. Continue on North Independence
Yesterday was a
Street
pretty
for
busy
3/4
day
of a mile.
at work. If you caught the last podcast, I was driving to work, and by the way, I should mention for those who didn't watch the first podcast that you'll have to forgive me for not looking at the camera because I am actually driving, and also for that reason I don't have a script. I don't have anything. I'm just kind of going things by the top of my head, so you'll just have to kind of because while I am doing a podcast and I'm an experienced driver, I try to drive carefully and I try to drive with care. So yesterday, I had a pretty busy day at work. For those of you who do not know,
Turn right
I
onto East Jefferson Street.
work as an overnight stalker at a Walmart, and what that means is, so my shift begins. I come in at 10 o'clock at night, and I work, and I don't get off work till 7 in the morning. So, and pretty much the majority of that time is spent stocking shelves, obviously. I will say that it's, people think that it's pretty hectic, it's pretty busy, and it is. Like most days it can get pretty hectic, most days it can get pretty busy.
Take the second left onto State Route 19 South Main Street.
But it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. I enjoy every minute of it. So, and trust me, if I wasn't if I wasn't busy with that, I would be sort of in another line of business. But it's a lot of, like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it's fun. So basically, you come in, like I said, you do your job, and then
Continue on State Route 19 South for 17 miles.
you come in, you do your job, and then is this thing even recording? It is. Okay, I'm just making sure. So you come in 10 o'clock at night. We have to go to this meeting. Pretty much the meeting goes through how the day went and how things went with the shift or the previous day. I guess you can call it that. And then we get our assignments, and then we head out to the floor. It is pretty self-explanatory. So, yeah. The only time we're not stalking is at midnight when we have to go gather up carts in the parking lot of Walmart, which I don't know. Like recently, the past couple of days, I don't know if it's been just too busy or they hadn't had somebody to do it. But technically, they're supposed to have, I think during the day, there's actually somebody that actually goes out and does the parking lots. I don't know whose responsibility is, as far as that's concerned, that particular Walmart. I think it's mostly the responsibility of whoever the custodian is that night that does it. And lately, we've been going out there and like, I don't know if it's just been busy or the closing shift custodian or whoever does it hasn't been getting around to it. But we, like, by the time we get out there at midnight, there is like a whole rack, those rack fulls of carts out there, and it's pretty stop in our little tour here is at the town of Atlanta. Atlanta, I was going to say, is a pretty small town. The only thing really that they have that's major is that dollar store that you see on your left-hand side. I think at one time there used to be why does it keep doing that? At one time there used to be a dentist's office or something along those lines at one point. But I can't remember if there was. I don't know how long it was there. I think I've actually been, when the dentist office used to be in Atlanta, I actually was in there with my mom one time because she actually had an appointment there. So, yeah. Atlanta's one of those Lincoln-Evanston kind of towns in Hamilton County because it's mostly just, it's kind of like you're just driving through. It's pretty much between, for those of you who don't know where Atlanta is pretty much between Tipton and Cicero. Not Cicero, Tipton and Arcadia. Here's another little small town, Millersburg. It's, again, one of those really good. I think Millersburg, is about the size of Nevada in Tipton County. The next time we do a tour or something like that, we may actually drive through Nevada, because Nevada I'm more familiar with because my grandpa, believe it or not, used to live in Nevada. He had an old, he has an old house on the left-hand side on Nevada Road that my dad and I are still trying to take care of. But Nevada is a very small town. It's not really a popular town. It's mostly just the only thing that's left there is a church and a cemetery, and that's it. Alright, so next town in our little tour around Hamilton County is a town called Arcadia. And no, it's not like an arcade game. Don't think of it like that. I hope the people of Arcadia aren't gonna slap me on the head for that little joke. But Arcadia is just a small little town. It's got a little bit more stuff to it compared to Atlanta. There's a Casey's that we just drove past. Again, it's just one of those towns that's very small and very I don't know how to really put it, but yeah, so here's another convenience. So there's actually two convenience stores in Arcadia that I drive past, and then there's Hamilton Heights High School. A lot of people from either Cicero, Arcadia, and I think Atlanta. I'm not sure. I think most of the people that live in Atlanta probably attend Tipton School, but I don't really know for sure. All you people that live in Hamilton County that can help me answer that question, let me know in the comment section below. But I do know that most of the Arcadia folks go to that school, as well as most of the people that live in Cicero. So, yeah. next city in our little tour today that we're going to stop at is a city called, well, it's not really a city, but it's a small town. It's Cicero, Indiana. I actually, Cicero, Indiana is like, especially this time of year, if you ever go up there like in the morning sometime, whatnot, you'll find that the town is pretty. It's nice. The leaves on the trees are beautiful. My favorite part of driving through Cicero is Cicero Creek. And see, here it is, right here. That's Cicero Creek. I tell you what, that reflection, that's the sunset that's happening right now, in addition to that reflection of the pond, makes it really, really nice. Cicero is I would say Cicero's not as big as Noblesville is, but it's also not as big, but it's also a little bit bigger than Arcadia or Atlanta. In fact, I was looking at houses in Cicero one day, because Cicero is a pretty close drive. It's about a 20-minute, only like a 20-minute drive from where I work, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And in reality, I was looking at prices. I would say an apartment here in Cicero is about the same compared to a place. It's pretty much the same amount of money as compared to renting a house or an apartment in Noblesville or Carmel or Indianapolis, for that matter. It's very expensive. So we have a Dairy. We just passed the Dairy Queen. It's hard to tell too, but there's also a Subway and a Domino's in that little plaza we just passed. But it's a shame though. Cicero, I would love to live in Cicero, to be honest with you. But and hopefully someday I might. You never can tell. But it is, like I said, Cicero's a nice little town, nice little community, and hopefully someday I might be able to eventually live here. So over here on your right hand side, there's a CVS. Something about this gas station that we're just about to pass. It's a Shell station, and it's also got Rally's inside there. My dad was like, "Where's Rally's at?" I'm like, "It's inside that gas station." And it's also got a McDonald's and a Speedway. So, and First Farmers Bank and Trust building. So it's, yeah, like I say, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Podcast, I can do whatever I want to. I meant to get in weeks to come on this podcast, I'm going to see if I can try to get some better equipment, like more sturdier equipment, I guess you could say. Right now I'm recording with a dash cam and a camcorder facing towards my face, and the camcorder, I will say, is unless someone knows a way of where I can actually install suction cups underneath, the camcorder, I can't really. I have tried recording I've tried recording movies with my camcorder, and it just kind of moves left and right. In fact, the reason why I got the dash cam was in a piece of advice left from a follower saying, "Oh, I know, it was on one of my videos, as a matter of fact," and I guess the question that the piece of advice that person left for me was, why don't you, I was trying to think where that comment was. I know what it was. When I used to do those day in the life videos, I used to have a camcorder, and sometimes, like, right now, the camcorder, if I had the camcorder recording this dash cam, it'll block, like, the windshield wipers will block the view. And so I actually had someone comment saying, why don't you, is there any way you can move your camera higher or anything like that? And at the time I couldn't really do that because I just did not have the technology at the time. And now I have this dash cam, which I mostly use it for podcasting, but dash cams can also be a really cool security feature, like let's say if the insurance company, like say this truck I'm behind it right now is say if something seriously happened and I accidentally hit the back of the car, and the driver of the truck wanted to file a claim with the insurance company, all I have to do is show him this video that I am recording with the dash cam right now, and it can prove that I have that proof to show the insurance company if something like that should happen. So, and that's basically it. I paid $30 at Walmart I paid for it with $30 at Walmart. So it's not quite as inexpensive as one would think it would be. And for that matter, it's not even but it does the job like it's intended to, and so that's the important thing. I'm sure these lights on this trying to get dark out. That voice you can hear in the background, that's Google Maps telling me how to get to where I need to go.
Turn right onto Logan Street.
See? Yep, so we are officially in Noblesville. Noblesville, I think while Noblesville, Cicero, and Westfield are all in the same county area, Noblesville is the main county seat, and it's a pretty big town. It's pretty. I would say it's
Take the next right onto Logan Street.
It's a pretty close town to really drive in.
Continue on Logan Street.
course, Noblesville has got a lot more stuff. There's a Kroger, there's a Chase Bank. What time is this? Okay, so I don't actually have to be at the. I was planning on leaving early because I know how. Because if you try to drive through Noblesville and Hamilton County in general, like right at 5 o'clock, it's pretty much. Sometimes the traffic can be stop and go sometimes, and so you have to really. Hey, buddy, red light. Red light. Red light. Okay, red light. Oh boy.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto River Avenue.
Technically, I should point something out.
Take the next left onto River Avenue.
Because this has been brought up before. As long as
Continue on River Avenue for 4 miles.
if you get to the light, and as long as the light is still yellow when you get up there, you can still safely pass. If it's whoa. Yeah, you see why I say we need to get another we need to get some. I'm gonna hopefully try to get another camera for this thing because this is getting ridiculous. even when I have to make a hard stop like that, the camera moves, and I don't understand why it does that. But in any event, oh yes, we were talking about stoplights. So in an event like that, if you don't think you're gonna have time, sometimes the one thing that bugs me sometimes about these lights is sometimes you get almost to the intersection, you think you're gonna make the light, and then all of a sudden it turns yellow and then red, and then you have to stop. Like there's no way out of it. What time we got? 6 o'clock. Should I actually, I'll tell you what, I wonder if Pizza Hut's open. I don't actually have to be at the church at any given time, so I think I might go out for pizza or something.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Cherry Tree Road. My question is, how do I even get to Pizza Hut? Let's see. Alright. In 400 feet, make a U-turn. Make a U-turn, then turn right onto Westfield Road.
Alrighty, well, that's it for this edition of Podcast in Car. And if you live in Howard, Tipton, or Hamilton County, and you want to be a guest on Podcast in a Car, feel free to let me know. My email address is jtpyle1@aol.com, and that's jtpyle1@aol.com. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time right here on Podcast in a Car, and I hope to see you, hopefully, on the road. Bye for now.